Many of us, including myself, have been given parents that don't really know how to be parents. Most of them have likely never even read a book on parenting. I've witnessed my parents not be the best parents that they could be. I don't think they were completely unprepared, but they certainly weren't ready to see the world, the modern world, and raise their children in that. And this showed through eventually as my parents divorced. And this is a story you see far too often. Our parents weren't ready to raise us in this modern world where values aren't really valued. Where without religion, there is no sort of innate value within the society. And so, men and women fall into promiscuous activities and start doing things that aren't really good for them. And now these men and women who have been promiscuous, they're not going to have those happy relationships. They're not going to be able to stick in with those relationships unless they do very intense work on fixing themselves. Without God and masculine and feminine polarity, relationships are bound to fail. Look at your grandparents or old couples that you see walking around in the street. Many of them have been married for 30, 40, even 50 years. Whilst our generation and our parents' generation, they have not been able to stay together. Divorces have been going left and right. And it's very common to meet someone my age whose parents are split. Of course, there are people that have parents that are still together, but it is far, far more common than it used to be to meet someone with divorced parents. And I believe all of this is down to the downfall of religion, to the depopularization of religion. You see, as religion has gotten less important to the world, divorce rates have increased, promiscuity has increased. Without the rules and values that religion provides, society collapses. And this is why you need values and strong morals if you want a successful relationship and if you want to build a family and you want your kids to look on at your loving relationship with your partner and wonder why all the people around them, all the people their age, have parents that are split. This doesn't necessarily mean you need a religion, although I'd highly recommend going and looking into it, as I have been doing myself. But I think we really do need to accept a higher power. Because when you put belief into a higher power, then you seem to realize how small your problems are, and you're more likely to follow the rules that this higher power has for you. If you are just an ungodless person, you're going to create gods out of promiscuity and video games and porn. You're going to make those your gods. And if you try and go without religion, you're going to have to create these values yourself. And we've already seen the state that has gotten us into. I think religion will be essential to finding a partner that has good values. Because think about it like this: if you're trying to find a partner that's atheist, who has good values, many of them are going to be promiscuous. Many of them are going to partake and what the society promotes, because they don't believe there's a God. So they will do things that they don't actually want to do because they are making other things their God. I'm not saying it would be impossible to find an atheist woman that has decent values and good morals, but it would be highly, highly unlikely. Whereas when you follow a religion, you're gonna be in contact with better people, good people, people that accept values and accept morals and believe. Now think about the type of people that would be in a church or at a mosque or any religious place. They're gonna be higher quality. The type of men and women you'd find in a church setting would be higher quality. They've not the woman that you've been trying to find, if you are looking for a woman with morals, will be in good places. It'll be the type of woman that hasn't spent her teens and 20s sleeping around, chasing sex. She's protected herself for the right person. And you'll only find these type of people rarely in good places, because even the good people that are in bad places, such as bars and clubs, eventually corrupt. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 33. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals. If we are in bad places, we too will eventually become bad, because we're surrounded by bad people and they're influencing us. So we've established where we need to look for the right partner. But that doesn't just solve the problem. You can't just expect to walk into a church and find your wife just like that. You need to become the man that your wife would want. You need to become the man that this woman you're going to marry would want. You can't just walk in unattractive, don't even go to the gym, no discipline, and just expect everything to fix itself. You need to fix yourself to be the epitome of what it is you value in a woman. It's one thing to know what you value, it's another thing to apply these values. Having set values is level 1. It's the absolute basics. From there, you have to level up and you have to start applying the values that you believe in, because that is how you get to be around the people you want to be around. That is how you get the wife that you want. You can't just go saying, I want a woman with a low body count, and then just go sleeping around with a bunch of degenerate girls. What do you think your woman would want if you want a low body count from her? She'd want it in return. You can't just say one thing and then do the opposite. None of this red pill bullshit. Oh, it's how I'm wired. Oh, I need to have sex all the time because that's just how my brain works. No, it fucking doesn't, bro. You're literally just masturbating with another person's body. You need to protect yourself from degeneracy if you want a wife that is high quality, that is not a degenerate. It's only fair. If you're a degenerate trying to be someone else, trying to lie your way to get to a good woman, you might be able to cover it up for a while with money and nice things, but eventually it'll crack. She won't show real love to you, and this relationship will suddenly collapse. I want to leave you with this last image. Imagine your children watching on helplessly as you and your wife are arguing, and it's starting to get a bit physical. Suddenly you're no longer in the house. You've been taken away, and there's a sense of relief from the children. They're not even sad. There's not even sadness from the children. They are relieved that you're gone. Is that how you want your children to see you? Because this is what happens when you try to live both lives. When you try to live the loving life and the degenerate life, you can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too. And this is what happens when you don't have values and beliefs and religion. This is the type of stuff that you do. You'll do things that are wrong because you don't have any values. You have to choose the right life. A life of degeneracy and loneliness, or the life of love. You get one choice. One choice. So you better get it right. Because if you get it wrong, then that's just going to lead to destruction. Your wife, your future wife, and your children, your future children, they want you to be loving. They want your love. They don't care so much about the amount of money you bring home, although money is still important to bring home if you want your woman to be able to stay at home with the children. But they care more about your time than the millions of dollars you made this year. And they don't want some degenerate man that they thought they knew but they didn't. They want love. And no one is winning if you are incapable of giving it. Everyone loses. Your wife and your kids, they don't get the love that they want, and you lose them. There is no winning unless you love. I love you all. Now stop consuming and go create.